We'll start with the prayers. Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
We'll chant the first 5 verses of the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Arjuna uvacha Prakritim Purusham chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajnameva cha Etadveditumicchami Jnanam Jneyam cha Keshava. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi Sarvakshetreshu Bharata Kshetra Kshetrajnayor Jnanam Yatta Jnanam Matam Mama Tat Kshetram Yaccha Yadrikcha Yadvikari Yadascha Yad Sachayo Yat Prabhavascha Tat Samasena Me Shrinu. Rishibhir Bahudha Gitam Chandobhir Vividhaih Prithak Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetumadbhir Vinishchitaihi.
So the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. The yoga of the distinction between field and knower of field. What's the difference between spirit and matter? Knower of field is spirit, field is matter. So what's the relationship between spirit and matter? To explain it in a very simple way. So before we get into the verse by verse study of this chapter, I think all of us are aware what is Bhagavad Gita all about, isn't it? So there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, 701 verses. So all these chapters put together, 18 chapters put together, the central theme is of our ultimate mission in life as a human being. So that's the absolute message. As a human being, we all have only one mission. It's not different for different people. And that mission, true mission, ultimate mission, our life's ultimate purpose is to find out our identity. All scriptures, all masters, they have said the same thing. That you are that truth, you are that reality, you are not this assemblage of body, mind, intellect. Beyond body, mind, intellect is your true personality, divinity, God principle. That's what you are. So that's the main message. That's the central theme of Bhagavad Gita. and it gives us knowledge and technique to merge with supreme reality. Spiritual paths, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, that's the method you use, which reduces the bulk of desires. You qualify to practice meditation, and through meditation, you reach the ultimate. So that's the method. But from relative point of view, Bhagavad Gita also gives us eternal principles of life and living. These are laws of life based on cause and effect. So, if you know these eternal principles, eternal values of life, your day to day life will be smooth. You will be successful, you will be productive, you will be dynamic in whatever you do. At the same time, you'll be peaceful. Usually, these two things do not go hand in hand, isn't it? You could be productive, you could be successful, but in 9 out of 10 cases, perhaps, it comes at a cost of mental peace, worry, anxiety, stress. So, what we need is a technique by which I am productive in whatever I do in life, I am successful, but at the same time, when I hit the pillow in the night, I want to fall off to sleep in 20 seconds. So, that's the target Swamiji has given to all of us. So, dynamic action and peace, they have to coexist, which is not happening to all of us right now, perhaps. So, what is that technique? That technique is nothing but these eternal principles of life and living based on cause and effect. Understood? That is number one. Second way how Bhagavad Gita helps us from day to day point of view is it gives us the knowledge by which we can deal with the challenges of life. Life is nothing but a series of challenges. Whether we want it or not, whether we like it or not, challenges will be thrown at us, isn't it? So, are we in a position to deal with these challenges? You could be successful in your own field. Why not? But do you have the capacity to deal with these challenges which world keeps throwing at you? The challenge could be in a relationship, that challenge could be at home in some different way. It could be in your workplace, it could be in a society or whatever. So, if we learn these principles, these values, our life will be smooth. It will equip you, all of us, to deal with the challenges of life. And if you don't learn this knowledge, then your plight will be that of Arjuna. That's the backdrop of Bhagavad Gita. A very successful person, prince, somebody who belonged to the royal family, a decorated soldier. But when he faced that challenge, which was personal challenge, he could not deal with that challenge. So exactly same thing perhaps is happening to all of us. It's a question of more or less. So if you don't want your plight that of to be Arjuna, you have to get this knowledge of Vedanta, eternal knowledge of life and living. So that's the backdrop of Bhagavad Gita. We all know, but at the beginning of each chapter, we have to remind ourselves, And secondly, Bhagavad Gita is part of an epic called Mahabharata. It's just a story. Righteousness is fighting the unrighteousness. So that's the theme. And 100,000 plus verses are there. So Bhagavad Gita is part of that larger epic called Mahabharata. You take away Bhagavad Gita from Mahabharata, there is nothing left. It's just a story, maybe a great story. So the Gita is the foundation of that story. And thirdly, these are eternal principles of life and living. The word we use is Sanatana Dharma, Vedanta. They don't belong to any particular person or a race or a geographical place. So these are facts of life. 1 plus 1 is a fact of life. It doesn't belong to anybody, isn't it? It's a mathematical fact. Law of gravitation is a fact of life. It's a law of nature. It doesn't belong to anybody. Whether you are in Florida, whether you are in Michigan, whether you are in Mumbai, whether you are, doesn't matter wherever you are, law of gravitation functions. So similarly, these laws of life, they are applicable to every human being. So it is in your interest to understand and find out what are these laws. Understand them, contemplate on these laws, reflect on these laws, and try to make it your own, this knowledge. So each chapter highlights a different aspect of life. So when you understand all 18 chapters, then you get a complete view of life. You understand what is life all about. So the last chapter was Yoga of Devotion, Bhakti Yoga, where he talked about bhakti, devotion. What is devotion? Now here he is talking about a very subtle theme. What's the relationship between spirit and matter, between man and God? We use layman's term. And this chapter is acclaimed as a very, very philosophical chapter. Right in the beginning, you will find out he is going to use very subtle concepts. So you don't have to worry about certain terms which you will find will come across soon. What matters is a concept. If concept is clear, you can easily understand Bhagavad Gita. But if you try to dig into these words, what are these words? What do they mean? That's not the way to go about. Because many of these words, terms, they were used thousands of years back, which we don't use it anymore. Even 10, 15 years back, we did not know the word AI generated. What do we mean by AI generated? You know? So it's like that. The terms which he uses here, they were like maybe, contemporary, 5,000, 10,000 years back. So what we need to focus on is a concept, what that concept is telling us, and how do I apply that concept in my day-to-day life. So that should be our focus. So there are 35 verses in this chapter, and these 35 verses, they can be divided into 6 topics. And this topic-wise division of chapter is Swamiji's contribution, is part of his research. It becomes very easy to understand what is the thought flow. Otherwise, it's not easy. What is the connection between verse 2, verse 3, 6, and 7? On our own, it will be very difficult for us to find out. So with this topic-wise division, it becomes quite clear, what exactly Krishna is saying. So what we will do is Charu will read introduction to the chapter and topic summary of first 2 topics. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. So those who have the book, they can open to the whatever page it is. In my book, it is 385. In your edition, it could be a different page. But try to get hold of the book so that everybody is on the same page. So Charu.
Chapter 13, The Yoga of the Distinction Between Field and Knower of Field. Introduction. The 13th chapter, entitled The Yoga of Distinction Between Field and Knower of Field, contains 35 verses. Some editions of the Gita omit the first verse with Arjuna's question. Arjuna seeks clarification of certain philosophic terms in his question. The inclusion of the first verse seems appropriate as it specifies these terms. Krishna explains them in the entire chapter. A significant contribution of this chapter is the enumeration of 20 qualities of a Jnani, enlightened person, traits that parallel the 35 qualities of a Bhakta, devotee of God, given in the previous chapter. Towards the end of the chapter, Krishna points the way towards realization of self. How, with the eye of wisdom, you can liberate yourself. The chapter can be summarized into 6 topics. Topic 1, Kshetra, field and Kshetrajna, knower of field, verses 1 to 7. Topic 2, 20 qualities of a Jnani, enlightened person, verses 8 to 12. Topic 3, Jneyam, that which is to be known, verses 13 to 19. Topic 4, Prakriti, matter, and Purusha, spirit, verses 20 to 24. Topic 5, way to realize the self, verses 25 to 31. And topic 6, with the eye of wisdom, liberate yourself, verses 32 to 35. Topic 1, Kshetra, field and Kshetrajna, knower of field. In the first verse of the chapter, Arjuna seeks clarification on certain philosophic terms, Prakriti and Purusha, Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Jnana and Jneyam. Krishna takes them one by one and explains their meaning and significance. In this topic, he clarifies what exactly constitutes Kshetra and how Kshetrajna is related to it. Kshetra is the field, seat, body in which the Kshetrajna, the knowing principle, the supreme being functions. Krishna declares himself the supreme self, Godhead in all beings. Topic 2, 20 qualities of a Jnani, enlightened person. Verses 8 to 12 of this topic enumerate 20 qualities of a Jnani, enlightened person. In chapter 12, the Lord had presented 35 qualities of a Bhakta, devotee of God. All these are eternal values leading to the highest state of perfection that mankind can reach. After describing the 20 outstanding qualities, the Lord concludes by stating that these qualities per se constitute jnana, pure knowledge. A person who lives these values is endowed with true knowledge.
You need to unmute yourself, Lakshmi ji.
Topic 3, Jneyam, that which is to be known. In this topic, Krishna declares Jneyam, the supreme knowledge, the ultimate goal where all human pursuits culminate. Having gained ultimate goal, when all human qualities pursue, having gained this ultimate knowledge, the seeker attains some immortality, becomes one with Brahman. Krishna then gives an eloquent description of Brahman. Following a traditional approach, the Lord uses the language of contradiction to describe the supreme Brahman. Topic 4, Prakriti, matter, and Purusha, spirit. The topic covers Prakriti, matter, and Purusha, spirit. It presents matter with several modifications and qualities. The spirit functioning through them all is one and the same. The union of spirit with matter produces living being. The supreme self being the same. It expresses differently in different individuals. The self assumes the position of a witness in evildoers, whereas in a true seeker, It seems to permit to fulfill whatever he does. When he continues further on the spiritual path, the self supports him to enjoy the world and command power. Ultimately, the spirit reveals itself as his supreme self. Chapter 5, Way to Realize the Self. The path to self-realization begins with action, passes through knowledge, and ends in meditation. Those who cannot pursue the path all by themselves can still reach the self by surrendering to and following a spiritual master. Spiritual growth is marked by recognizing the homogeneous principle in the heterogeneous variety of beings, perceiving the imperishable in the perishable world. Excuse me. The seeker realizes Brahman as the one as the substratum in the diversified existence of all beings. He becomes one with Brahman. Topic 6. With the eye of wisdom, liberate yourself. The Supreme Self within does not act, nor is it tainted by actions of beings. It remains ever immaculate like space. Space as such is never polluted by the different objects that occupy it. He who recognizes the Supreme Self in the manifold beings is endowed with Jnana eye of wisdom. With this divine eye, he perceives the Supreme.
Thank you. So it becomes easy for us to understand what we are going to study in these 35 verses. So we'll start with verse number 1.
Arjuna uvacha Prakritim Purusham chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajnameva cha etadveditumicchami Jnanam Jneyam cha Keshava. Arjuna uvacha Prakritim Purusham chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajnameva cha etadveditumicchami Jnanam Jneyam cha Keshava.
Translation. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said. Arjuna is asking Krishna, can you please clarify this? Prakriti, matter, and Purusha, spirit. Also Kshetra, field, and Kshetrajna, knower of field. And also knowledge and that which ought to be known. These I wish to learn, O Keshava. Jnanam is knowledge, Jneyam, what ought to be known, what's the purpose of life. That's what it means. So like I said, don't worry about what terms he's using, because these terms were contemporary, thousands of years back. And secondly, Arjuna must have heard these words during his time. Everybody went to Gurukula. So naturally, he was exposed to these terms. And after a long time, he got the opportunity to clarify what they meant. So he's clarifying one by one. So he's asking 6 questions to Arjuna. Can you clarify these 6 terms? What do they mean? Vijay, can you have that PowerPoint? So these are the 6 questions of Arjuna. What is Prakriti? See, underneath that script is called as Devanagari script, which is Sanskrit. There is an English transliteration. So that is how you can read. Those who don't understand Sanskrit, So it's called as transliteration. So Prakriti, below that you can read Prakriti in English, isn't it? So Prakriti means matter. So what is matter? Please explain to me. That is question number one. What is Purusha? Spirit, the God principle, divinity. I want to know. What is Kshetra? What is field? What is Kshetrajna? Who is this knower of field? What is Jnanam? What is knowledge? What is Jneyam? That which ought to be known. So one by one he is clarifying all these terms with Krishna. Now I know some of you are looking lost to me. I mean, when am I going to understand? It looks quite complex, and it looks quite complex. I agree with you. So all you need to understand is a concept. Forget about the terms. See, that is where those who try to study Bhagavad Gita straight away, you want to start your spiritual journey with Bhagavad Gita, it is impossible to gain clarity. Because when are you going to understand these terms? And if you try to go deeper, you'll get more confused. So therefore, traditionally, every seeker studied introductory books to Vedanta. But I'm going to make it as easy as possible. So don't worry, don't get lost. So what it means that every human being is a combination of spirit and matter. All of us, we are a blend of spirit and matter. Spirit is a God principle, divinity, truth, reality. You can use any word. All of them are synonyms. So all of us, every human being, every being in fact, is nothing but a composite personality. So you are made up of spirit and you are made up of matter. Matter is body, mind, intellect, isn't it? And body, which you see, which is referred to as a gross body, is made up of gross matter. And mind and intellect is also matter. But mind and intellect is made up of subtle matter. So I repeat, every human being, every being is a combination of spirit and matter. Spirit is the Godhead in you, the God principle in you. And matter is body, mind, intellect. So when spirit comes in contact with matter, body, mind, intellect, there is an expression of life, which is you and me. But spirit has no life in it. Matter on its own has no life in it. But when they come together, when they blend together, there is an expression of life, which is you and me. It is called as jiva, the individual. So body is gross matter, mind and intellect is subtle matter. And together they form a living being. It's like electricity. We always give this example that electricity has no light in it, isn't it? Bulb has got no light in it. But when electricity comes in contact with the bulb, what happens? I know
The bulb glows.
the bulb glows, but how it glows? Does it have a light on its own? No light. If power goes, what happens? Right? Electricity on its own has got no light. But when they combine, we get light. So similarly, when spirit and matter combine, there is the expression of life, which is you and me. Clear? It's quite straightforward. And the God principle which enlivens this personality, any personality, it is neutral. The way you manage body, mind, intellect, God principle or divinity has got absolutely nothing to do with it. With body, what do? You can perceive and you can act, isn't it? You perceive the world, you perceive various sense objects. You hear, you smell, you taste, you touch, you see. So there are five senses we have. So we use the word perception. And also with body, you perform various actions. With mind, you feel various emotions. With intellect, you entertain various thoughts. But what you perceive, how you act, what actions you perform, what type of emotions you entertain, what types of thoughts you entertain, God principle has got absolutely nothing to do with it. Don't blame God for whatever is happening to you. You are responsible. Without God principle, nothing is possible. Your body cannot perceive, your body cannot act, your mind cannot feel emotions, your intellect cannot entertain any thoughts. But the quality and the quantity of perception, action, feeling, and thought, God principle has got absolutely nothing to do with it. You are responsible to manage your life. Now, you may make the best out of you, or you yourself can bring out the worst in you. Nobody is responsible. No extraneous factor is responsible. God principle is not responsible for that at all. It's neutral. We often give example of a petrol or a gas. You heard it 100 times in this class. That without petrol, without gas, no vehicle can function. But how you drive that vehicle has got nothing to do with the petrol. If you meet with an accident, you can't blame, oh, there's something wrong with the Costco gas. That's the reason they are selling it a little bit cheaper. I wish I had gone to Myers or Walmart. That gas is better. There is no such thing. Also, you can't go and thank you, Costco gas station. Thank you for taking me all the way to Florida. I drove for 1,000 miles. Gas, petrol has got nothing to do with it. It depends on your driving. It depends on the power of your car. In a powerful car, performance is powerful. In a small car, performance is small. So similarly, you alone are responsible for what is happening to you and what kind of a life you live. Same body, mind, intellect you can use and you can scale the greatest heights in any field. In day-to-day life, also in the spiritual field. Same body, mind, intellect you can use and destroy yourself and others, or get into big time trouble, make a mess of your life or others' life. God is neutral. So that's what it means, all these complicated terms put together. And then when he's asking what is Jnanam and what is Jneyam, so Jnanam is the knowledge of life and living. We all know, we all understand that as a human being, we have to understand, we have to learn rather how to live life. So without understanding how to live life, how can we live life? See, my guru keeps on saying living is an art, a skill, a technique. How many times you have heard that? And it doesn't come to us naturally, it has to be taught to us. So what is that knowledge of life and living? Jneyam. That's what we are studying. And the highest knowledge is knowledge of the supreme reality. See, knowledge is from relative level and absolute level. Are we following the thought flow? From relative level, what we need is a knowledge of life and living. From absolute level, we need the knowledge of how to reach the ultimate state of self-realization. What is that knowledge? What is that technique? So Gita gives us both. It gives knowledge to live life, which itself is an art, a technique, and also it gives the knowledge to reach the ultimate state of self-realization or God realization, which every human being is capable of. We all have that potential. We all have that capacity. So, what is that which I have to know through this knowledge? Jneyam. What is that ultimate mission of every human being? Jnanam, Jneyam. Are you with me? So now if you understand what we discussed in last 10 minutes, forget about these terms. Don't unnecessarily try to dig in deeper. What is Kshetram? What is Kshetrajna? Can you know, it's quite straightforward. And will become clear as we continue. Verse number 2, please.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः.
Translation: Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Blessed Lord said. So he's answering Arjuna's question. This body, O Kaunteya, is called Kshetra, referring to the body, our body. He who knows this is called Kshetrajna, knower of the field, by those who know of that. That is interesting. So what is spirit, what is matter, and what is the connection between them? What is the relationship between spirit and matter? Who knows? Who can know? So if you miss that last sentence, then you miss the main part of the verse. Who knows what is spirit, what is matter, and what is the relationship between spirit and matter? Who knows what is God, what is man, and the relationship between man and God? Who knows?
The enlightened one?
You and I don't know, definitely. So only those who have reached the ultimate state, only a person who knows spirit, knows what is spirit, of course, and he knows the relationship between spirit and matter. So we don't we know body, mind, intellect. We understand that. But we don't know what is spirit. We don't know what is God principle. So those who have reached that state, they are telling us, the entire humanity, what is spirit, what is matter, and what is the relationship between spirit and matter. So I'm going to explain to you, oh Arjuna, what is Kshetra and what is Kshetrajna. So Kshetra means field, matter, body. Kshetrajna means knower of the field, spirit, the self, the God principle, pure consciousness. All these are synonyms. See, I repeat, what are the synonyms for Kshetrajna? Spirit. Kshetrajna means spirit. Self, Atman, Brahman, God principle, pure consciousness, Godhead in you, divinity in you. So we keep on using these terms. They all mean the same, but in the context we may use a particular term, like pure consciousness we use in a particular context. So don't get confused. So this is Kshetra, this is Kshetrajna. And together they form a human being. We already discussed. Spirit plus matter equals what?
Life.
Spirit plus matter is life. That is you and me. The expression of life. So that is Kshetra. So Kshetra is this matter, the body. What enlivens Kshetra is Kshetrajna. So intentionally I'm using Sanskrit words also. Somebody might ask, what do you mean by Kshetrajna? 5 times, 6 times monotonously I am expressing it, explaining it. So, in broader sense, matter or body refers to causal body, subtle body, and gross body. So, we are going one step deeper now. So far, we just say human being is a combination of spirit and matter. Matter is body, mind, intellect. Now, next step is what? Next advanced level of understanding is in a broader sense, by body, we mean three bodies: causal body, subtle body, gross body. See, these are the terms which are used throughout Vedantic scriptures. So, basics you have to know. So, gross body is easy to understand. This is gross body. Physical body is called as gross body. So, this gross body on its own cannot act. That much all of you know. So, what propels this gross body is subtle body. Subtle body is nothing but mind and intellect, thoughts. So, thoughts, when there is logic, reason, analysis, they are referred to as intellect, buddhi. But when there is no logic, when there is no reason, there are only feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, whims and fancies. It is called as mind or manas. So, what drives gross body, what propels our gross body, whatever we do, is subtle body. And subtle body is made up of thoughts, mind, and intellect. And from where does subtle body come? So, subtle body comes from the causal body, which is the very cause of our personality. Therefore, it is called as causal body, or vasana is another name. So, causal body or vasana, which is the seed of your personality, they are in unmanifest form. We don't know what vasanas are. They are in unmanifest form. So, when they manifest as subtle body, which is mind and intellect or thoughts. And further manifestation of subtle body is gross body. Another way to explain is you can use the word grossification. Vasana is very subtle. When vasana grossifies, it grossifies as subtle body, which is mind and intellect. But there is no physical body yet. And when it grossifies further, then there is this gross body, there is a physical body. So you can use any word, both are correct. So vasanas, they manifest as subtle body further manifests as gross body. Or other way to explain is vasana grossifies as subtle body. See, there is no individual. From where does this individual come from? You have to ask this question. From vasanas, which is the seed of the personality. But they are in unmanifest form. They have not grossified yet. Therefore, there is no life yet. So, vasanas, they grossify as subtle body grossifies as the gross body. So, since we use the word vasanas, you need to understand the basics. Vasana is nothing but the seed of your personality. You can use the word desires, unmanifest desires, one and the same thing. So, whatever you are, whoever you are, is nothing but the expression of your vasanas. That's the stuff you are made up of, your innate nature. All your qualities, your characteristics, you can use any word, is nothing but your vasanas. So, if your vasanas are positive, everything about you will be positive, isn't it? Your thoughts will be positive, your emotions will be positive, your actions will be positive. If your vasanas are pessimistic, your thoughts will be pessimistic. Any situation, you look at the worst case scenario. There are some people like that. It's extremely difficult to get any positive expression out of them. So you spend 5-10 minutes with them, you come out very dejected. I think world is going to come to an end now. I don't know what to do. gas prices are high, healthcare system is broken, politics has gone to dogs, inflation is too much, then what to do? Hopeless you come out with. Some people you spend 5 minutes with them, you come like charge. Yeah, yes, I mean, what a great life, what opportunity, the beautiful world it is. So now you know the reason. The vasanas are like that. So vasana will produce a thought, thought will produce a desire, desire will produce an action. So it will be in line with your vasanas. So which is the very seed of your personality. It's like an apple seed. If you plant an apple seed, you get a tiny little sapling. From that sapling, you get a plant. From that plant, you get a proper, fully grown tree. So from where does all this thing come from? The apple, then the leaves, the bark, the trunk is unique to the apple tree. So that seed has got all the characteristics of what? The apple. You plant an avocado tree, what do you get? Simple question.
Avocado.
We all eat for breakfast, supposed to be good for protein. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist. A lot of doctors here, they can correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody told me, so I eat. So also we eat apples. So they are diametrically different. Why are they different? The vasanas are different, isn't it? So there are 60, 70 of us here on the screen. Each one is different. It's interesting. No two people are same. They may be husband and wife attending, maybe siblings attending, the whole family could be attending, but nobody is same. Why nobody is same? Because vasanas are different. So vasana is the stuff you are made up of, which is referred to as causal body. Causal body will manifest as subtle body. Subtle body will be in line with your vasanas. Your thoughts and emotions will be in line with your vasanas. Subtle body will manifest as
Gross body.
gross body, your actions. So your actions also will be in line with your vasanas.
Yeah.
So there is a causal body, there is a subtle body, there is a gross body. Number one. Also, there is a continuity of vasanas in your personality. Yes, as a human being, definitely we can change our vasanas, but there is a continuity. Whatever you are, your nature, your emotions, your thoughts, your characteristics, if I meet you next month, are you going to be a different person? Because vasanas are same. You go to bed in the night, you get up in the morning. Are you a different person? You're same. Why you're same? Because your vasanas are same. So there is continuity of your personality. Because vasanas, they continue. But yes, with this knowledge, you can change your vasanas. That's what we are doing. And you can completely eradicate your vasanas. So when you eradicate your vasanas, that state is called as state of self-realization. You can use the word desires. Because some people, they keep on asking questions on vasana, vasana, vasana. I mean, this is quite, don't complicate it. Just use the word desires. It only means unmanifest desires. Because if you don't give that explanation, then any intellectual person will not accept what is the source of my desires. Logical question. So the source is vasanas. So for all practical purposes, you can use the word desires. So with this knowledge, you can change your desires, and eventually you can completely eliminate your desires. And only a human being has this capacity. See, that's the magic of human birth. And also, the three states of consciousness is a play of vasanas. We are going to the next level. Step by step, we are now going to the subtler levels. Are you with me? So the three states of consciousness which we all go through is nothing. It is produced. It is a play of, you can use any word, of vasanas. What are the three states of consciousness we all are going through? Deep sleep state of consciousness, which is dreamless sleep. Then there is dream state of consciousness. We all understand dreams. And there is a waking state. Right now we are in the waking state. So our entire life revolves around these three states of consciousness. You are a waker most of the day. When you hit the bed, either you are a dreamer or you are a deep sleeper. So these three states of consciousness, they are a product of, they are expression of vasanas. In deep sleep, vasanas are in unmanifest form. You're not dead, you are functioning. It's like a plant. Plant is also a living being like you and me, but it's not conscious of what is happening, but things are happening. The photosynthesis and whatever, is constantly happening. So when you are in deep sleep, your body is functioning, but your personality is in the unmanifest form. So in deep sleep state, your vasanas, they are in unmanifest form. In dream state of consciousness, your vasanas are partially manifest, isn't it? They're not fully functional. Why they are not fully functional? Because mind and intellect is partially available. Therefore, we say that. And in waking state of consciousness, your vasanas are what?
Fully
Complete a sentence.
manifested.
Fully
Fully
manifest.
manifested.
Correct. Excellent. So, in deep sleep state of consciousness, your vasanas are what?
Unmanifested.
Unmanifest. In dream state, vasanas are
Partially manifest.
partially manifest. And in waking state,
It is manifested.
fully
Fully
manifest.
manifested.
Yeah, one mistake you made. So I will give you 99%. Oh, why? Sorry, 99% is a good.
Thank you.
1600 is a max you can get in SAT, Raji. So I will give you 1540. Is that a score? Raji?
Yes, Amit G.
Yeah, I'm getting a kick. Therefore, each class I bring it up. Maybe I'm getting jealous. I wish I was Madhav. So you got 1540. Any Ivy League school in America, you will get admission. Don't worry. Ivy League School of Spirituality. So, and this entire personality is enlivened by what? You can use any word, vasana, body, mind, intellect, blah, blah, blah. The entire personality is enlivened by what?
Spirit.
The spirit, the God principle. So, those who know the spirit we already discussed, they know the relationship between spirit and matter. You and I do not know the spirit. So, therefore, the practical application is knowledge of your personality is must to manage your personality. Otherwise, somebody may say it's very pedantic, looks like very scholarly. No. Unless and until you know that you're a composite personality, what are you made up of, and what each part has to play in your life. If you do not know that, how will you manage your personality? Isn't it? You have to know that you have mind and intellect, and your intellect is capable of controlling your mind. If you don't know that, whole life you will be victimized by your mind. This is what is happening to 99.99% people, because you don't know there is an entity called as intellect in you. At least to begin with. Then comes the question of applying it, which is a lifelong exercise. But if you don't know in theory at least, how will you strengthen that intellect? It's not automatically it is strengthened. Yes, it is a God-given gift to every human being, but you have to develop it like a muscle. Muscles we develop unconsciously, but with intellect you need to put efforts. You have to understand that you have five senses, and they are drawn towards the sense objects, towards the world. There's a constant push and pull. And only if you have a powerful intellect, you can supervise your senses. Otherwise, you will be victimized by the senses. You may become alcoholic, you may become an indulgent person or whatever. So you need to know this. Again, the intellect is of two types: gross intellect, subtle intellect. Gross intellect you use in the terrestrial world, and you may have a powerful gross intellect, but still you'll be pinned down to the terrestrial world. So only subtle intellect can take you all the way to the state of enlightenment. So you have to know that this is gross intellect, this is subtle intellect. The ultimate aim in my life is to strengthen my subtle intellect. And how do you do that? As you reduce your desires, your subtle intellect becomes more and more powerful. What is the role of God principle in your life? You have to know that. Otherwise, whole life you'll be keep on blaming God. There are people who keep on blaming God or your luck or your star or whatever. God principle is neutral, period. Otherwise, you will fall into superstitious belief, and there are enough people who will misguide you in life. Yes, without God principle, nothing happens, but it is neutral. It is not going to interfere in your decision making. What you perceive, what actions you perform, what emotions you entertain, what thoughts you entertain. One thought, if you go on entertaining it, if you don't control, it applies positively, also negatively. If it is a positive thought, it can take you all the way to the enlightenment. That's the power of a thought. But if one thought, if it is negative, and you go on entertaining that thought, that one thought can bring about disaster. It could be fatal. So you have to know this, that God principle has got absolutely nothing to do with what thoughts are entertained. So if you do not know how to manage your personality, how to operate your personality, what each component is doing, what is its role, there will be mishaps after mishaps in your life. And the book which we started last Sunday, Governing Business and Relationships, highlights this. You see the depth of this subject. But if you cannot manage your personality, then you cannot manage anything external. Last week you all heard that. So how do I manage myself? This is where it becomes more clear. Of course, in the book also, tomorrow, which we're going to study, he's going to explain that. Otherwise, whole life you try to manage external things, and you could be, let's say, relatively successful. But if you cannot manage yourself, it is not going to last. Internally, you could be torn apart. It can happen to anybody. We all could be studying this subject of Vedanta, which tells us self-management. I may be talking, you may be listening, you may be taking notes, we could be having question and answer session, but the whole thing could be scholastic. Do you see the possibility? Am I able to manage my personality with this knowledge? Is the question. It's nothing to do about talking. My guru says any fool can talk. It took me a couple of years to understand the depth of his statement. Some people, they have gift of the gab. I mean, you can mesmerize the audience. You can cast spell on them. You can hold them spellbound. Let's say I'm that person. I don't have gift of the gab, incidentally, for argument's sake, And my personal life could be in a mess. There might be a brightest student here. I don't know whose example to give. All of you are bright, Okay, Vijay. Vijay will not protest, So, and I know him very well. And one of the most brightest students we have, taking notes, he manages all the IT and everything he manages. Once in a while he makes mistakes. So chapter 12 he says 13, for chapter 13 he says 12. It's okay. But like Kamleshji, like, or like Keshav, 1540 SAT score he gets. Brilliant student, second cycle of e-learning, but his life could be an absolute mess. Are you with me? What I'm saying? So, and for that we need to understand how to manage our personality. For that you need to know what each part does. So there in that context, in that sense, you have to understand these terms. It's not just scholastic study, but don't get lost in the terms and terminologies. Understand what it means, what is a concept, and then how do I apply that in my day-to-day life, that concept, And then in verse number 3, which we will do next week, he explains what is that self, what is that God principle. It's a very famous verse that I am the self in all of you. Same thing Christ says, and the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whosoever knoweth himself shall find it. Exactly, they are same concept. Same thing Prophet Muhammad says, he who knows self knows God. So what is that God? What is that God principle? We'll find it out next week. So it is time up 10:32, and tomorrow we'll be having that study class on governing business and relationships. So we are still on the preface. Correct me if I'm wrong, Radha. Yeah, we are still on the preface, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely we'll be starting with the first chapter. So in case anybody wants to join, you're welcome. You're more than welcome to invite your friends. It's a very practical book. All right. So any quick questions before we conclude? And I would recommend that those who have Swamiji's book, Vedanta, Treatise, the Eternities, please read chapter 11. It's called as Human Composition. Can you just double check, Radha, that I'm referring to the correct chapter? Within 7-8 pages, beautifully he has explained everything. So it will be very clear to you what we are going to study. So that's the main book, Vedanta Treatise, the Eternities. We often keep referring to that book. So in that book, the chapter number 11, Radha?
Amit G, it's chapter number 9.
9.
Yes.
So not chapter number 11, chapter number 9, and it's called as Human Composition.
The human composition in section 2, practical Vedanta.
Yeah, so, but chapter 9, correct?
9.
Okay, chapter number 9 is called as the Human Composition, the book Vedanta Treatise, the Eternities. If you have that book, read it. If you don't have the book, don't worry. Don't buy a book just for that. I mean, you're welcome to buy it, but only for that, not necessary at this stage.
Amit G, Keisha has a question.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you, Amit G. Can you please tell me what time the class starts tomorrow?
Same time.
Oh, yes,
9:30 to 10:30, correct?
Yes, and it's Eastern time. Today people join later, so
Yeah, it's Eastern time. And the same link will work. The link, Zoom link which you received today, same link.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you will get the link anyway. Vijay, are you going to send the link?
Yes, Amit Ji.
And the correct link, I presume.
Yeah, Amit Ji. Same way.
Okay,
Thank you, Amit G.
Thank you.
welcome.
Lena has a question.
Yeah. Yes, Lita.
Just a quick question, Amiji. So I was wondering, why is chapter 13 only listing or talking about 20 qualities versus, the 35? Is there a reason why he picks only 20 and this specific 20?
See, the reason is the moment you talk about intellect, the whole topic is about knowledge. It becomes more subtle.
Mhm.
But when it comes to mind, the range of emotions, they are more, isn't it? So as you go subtler, the knowledge becomes more compact. Why did he select only 20 qualities? I mean, I wish I knew Krishna. I mean, we could have interviewed him, so we don't know the Lord. We don't know his email. I don't think he uses a cell phone. It doesn't matter. I mean, one quality is enough. We keep on saying, why worry about 20? I wish he had given 2. 20 is too much.
Thank you.
So are we okay? Great. So see you tomorrow or otherwise next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amit G.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hari Om, Amit Ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, G. Thank you.